Welcome to my channel, my friend. And listen closely, because this video might be the quiet moment that changes everything. If you've ever felt completely alone, if you've worked hard and no one noticed, if you've cried in silence but still showed up the next day, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to win alone, how to grow when no one believes in you, how to rise when no one claps, and how to stay strong even when you feel invisible. And if you're learning English, this is perfect for you, because I'll speak slowly, clearly, and from the heart. You'll learn English and you'll learn life. Now take a deep breath, because from this moment on, your loneliness won't be your weakness anymore. It will be your power. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Accept the loneliness. It's your training ground. Let's be honest. Being alone hurts. When the world goes quiet, when no one texts you back, when you wake up and there's no one cheering for you, it feels heavy. You begin to think something is wrong with you. You wonder, why am I always alone? But here's the truth most people never realize. Every strong person you admire once walked alone. They weren't born confident. They weren't surrounded by support. They learned how to stand when no one was watching. They learned how to believe in themselves when no one else did. That is where true strength is built. In silence, in solitude, in those long nights when you feel invisible. When you are alone, your mind becomes louder. You start to hear thoughts you used to run away from. You remember the mistakes you made, the people you lost, and the dreams you never started. And sometimes that silence feels painful. But what if I told you that loneliness is not a punishment? It's preparation. It's not the world rejecting you. It's life giving you space to rebuild yourself. It's life saying, you've been listening to too many voices. Now it's time to hear your own. When you are alone, you meet yourself for the first time. You start to see what you really love, what you truly need, and what you can't live without. You start to notice your thoughts, your fears, your dreams. You begin to understand who you are, not who others want you to be. Most people fear silence because they've never learned how to be with themselves. They always need noise, music, people, social media, something to distract them. But silence is where growth begins. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers. When you sit quietly, when you breathe deeply, when you stop trying to escape your loneliness, you start to hear a gentle voice inside. That voice is yours. It's your inner guide, your strength, your truth. So the next time you feel lonely, don't rush to fill the silence. Sit in it. Let it speak to you. Ask yourself simple questions. What do I really want? What is hurting me right now? What can I do, not someone else, to make my life better? And here's something powerful you can do. Write. Yes, just write. Take a notebook and write down your thoughts. Write what hurts. Write what you're grateful for. Write what you wish you could tell someone, even if no one reads it. Because when you write, you release the pain that's been trapped inside you. And if you're learning English, this is a perfect moment to grow. You can write in English. You can talk to yourself in English. You can tell your story in English. It's okay if your sentences are simple. It's okay if your grammar isn't perfect. You're not writing for the world. You're writing for your healing. You can say, I feel lonely today. I want to be strong. I believe I can grow. These are not just English sentences. These are affirmations. Each word you speak is a step toward confidence in language and in life. Remember this line and let it stay in your heart. You're not alone. You're in training. Loneliness is your training ground. It's where your mind learns discipline. It's where your heart learns patience. It's where your soul learns strength. You are not behind. You are being prepared. One day, all this silence will make sense. You'll look back and realize that your quiet days were not wasted. They were building you. They were teaching you to rely on yourself. They were teaching you to find peace in your own company. They were shaping you into the person who doesn't just need attention, but gives it to others and to themselves. So tonight, when the world feels far away, don't see it as a curse. See it as your classroom. Life is teaching you how to grow without approval, how to speak without fear, and how to love yourself without permission. Sit with yourself. Breathe deeply. Say softly, I am not broken. I am becoming. Because the truth is, this loneliness is not your ending. It's your beginning. It's not a wall. It's a door. And on the other side of that door is the strongest version of you. Calm, confident, fluent, and full of purpose. So accept the loneliness. Don't fight it. Walk with it. Learn from it, because this is your training ground. And one day, when the world finally sees you shine, you'll smile quietly and say, I built this strength in silence. Chapter 2. Build discipline. When no one is watching. Let me tell you something honest, my friend. Motivation is beautiful, but it doesn't last. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel inspired, full of energy, and ready to conquer the world. And other days, you wake up tired, empty, and just don't want to move. That's normal. Everyone feels that way. But the people who grow, the people who change their lives, the people who actually win, they don't wait for motivation. They build discipline. Discipline means doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because success doesn't come from being motivated. It comes from being consistent. When you're alone, there is no one to push you. No one claps when you wake up early. No one texts you, "Hey, did you study today?" No one checks if you are improving your English or if you are wasting your time scrolling. And that, right there, is your real test. What you do when no one is watching defines who you truly are. Anyone can work hard when others are watching. Anyone can show effort when people are cheering for them. But true winners, they practice in the dark. They build themselves quietly, patiently, when no one is paying attention. That's where strength is born, in private. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't about doing big things. It's about doing small things every single day. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a repeatable routine, something simple, something yours. Here's an example. 6 o'clock in the morning. Wake up and drink a glass of water. Then speak 3 simple English sentences to yourself. I'm alive. I'm learning. I will grow today. They may sound small, but they are powerful. Because when you speak them out loud, your brain listens. You're telling your mind, I'm ready. During the day, take 5 minutes to write in your journal. Write your thoughts in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. Write about your morning, your feelings, your goals. Example: I woke up early. I didn't want to, but I did. I'm proud of myself. That's how you train your brain. You show it that you can do hard things even without pressure. Before sleeping, review your day. Don't judge yourself. Just look at what you did. Did you learn something new? Did you stay patient? Did you keep your promise to yourself? If yes, smile. Because every small act of discipline adds up. You see, the magic of discipline is not in perfection. It's in consistency. You might skip a day. You might feel tired. That's okay, but don't quit. Come back tomorrow. Because every time you come back, your self-respect grows. Every time you keep a small promise, your brain starts to trust you again. Think about that for a second. When you say you'll do something and you actually do it, you build a bond with yourself. And that bond is called trust. That trust is stronger than any motivation video, stronger than any external praise. Because when you trust yourself, you no longer need others to believe in you. That's how real confidence begins. Let's be real. Sometimes you'll want to quit. You'll ask, what's the point? No one even sees my effort. But that's exactly when you must remember this line. If you can be loyal to your goals when no one sees you, then the world will one day stand to see what you built in the dark. That's the truth. The world claps for the results, but not for the process. You have to clap for yourself during the process. When no one cheers, be your own cheerleader. When no one notices, notice yourself. When no one pushes you, push yourself. Every quiet act of discipline is a brick. You are building something, a stronger version of yourself. Let's connect this with your English journey. You don't have to study for hours. You just need to show up every day, even for 10 minutes. Speak 1 new sentence. Read 1 short story. Listen to 1 English video and repeat a few lines. That's discipline. That's what makes you fluent. Not big study sessions, but small, daily promises kept. When you do this, something powerful happens. You stop depending on motivation. You become your own engine. You wake up and say, I will do my part today. And even if the world is silent, you know that something inside you is growing, quietly, steadily, beautifully. One day, people will see your confidence and say, you're so lucky. But you'll smile because you'll know. It wasn't luck. It was discipline. It was those mornings when you didn't feel like getting up but did anyway. It was those nights when you were tired but reviewed 1 more word. It was those small promises that no one saw, but you kept them. That's what built your strength. That's what built your self-respect. That's what built your future. So start today. Keep it small. Keep it real. Keep it consistent. Drink your water. Speak your 3 English sentences. Write 1 page. Reflect before you sleep. That's enough. Because every small act of discipline is proof. Proof that you're not waiting for the world to change. You're changing yourself, and one day, the same people who never noticed your effort will say, "How did you do it?" And you'll smile softly and reply, "I built it in silence," when no one was watching. Chapter 3. Create Power from Pain. Let's begin with a story. There was once a boy named Amir. He dreamed of becoming fluent in English, not just for school, but because he wanted to express himself, to sound confident, to be respected. But whenever he tried to speak, people laughed. They mocked his accent, corrected his mistakes, and made him feel small. One day, after trying to talk in class, he mispronounced a word, and everyone burst into laughter. Even the teacher smiled. Amir sat down quietly. His face turned red, his hands shook, and inside something broke. That day, he promised himself he would never speak English again. But later that night, while lying on his bed, he heard a small voice inside, a whisper. They laughed because they don't know your story. But one day, they'll listen. And that was the moment everything changed. Pain gives you two choices in life: to complain or to convert. You can complain, blame others, and let the pain eat you alive. Or you can convert that same pain into something powerful: focus, energy, art, or learning. Amir chose the second option. He started waking up early, quietly practicing English in front of his mirror. He talked to his phone, recorded his voice, listened, corrected, and tried again. He wrote small sentences in a notebook every day. No one saw him. No one praised him. But every morning, he whispered to himself, "I'm not weak. I'm training." That's how pain becomes power. When you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" You see, pain is pure energy. It's powerful, raw, and real. If you hold it too long, it burns you. But if you use it, it builds you. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every time someone ignores you, all that pain has weight. You can either let it crush you or lift it like a weight and grow stronger. Think about your own life. Maybe someone left you. Maybe you were rejected from a job or a dream. Maybe you tried your best and no one noticed. You felt invisible, forgotten, unworthy. But what if this pain is not meant to destroy you? What if it's meant to shape you? Pain has a secret message. It says, something needs to change. It wakes you up. It pushes you forward. It makes you face the truth. When you feel hurt, don't hide from it. Sit with it. Ask your pain, "What are you trying to teach me?" Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you strength. Maybe it's teaching you to stop depending on others and start believing in yourself. That's how you turn pain into growth, by using it instead of escaping it. For English learners, this idea is even more powerful, because sometimes you might feel alone. Maybe no one helps you practice. Maybe people laugh when you speak. Maybe your friends don't understand why you're trying so hard. But here's the truth. You don't need their help. Your silence can be your teacher. If no one helps you practice, let your silence help you. Speak to your mirror. Talk to your phone. Teach your shadow. Tell your story to yourself. Pain can make you quiet, or it can make you consistent. Choose the second. When your heart hurts, use that emotion. Say out loud, I will not give up. I will become strong. I will learn, even if no one teaches me. You're not just practicing English, you're rebuilding your confidence, word by word, sentence by sentence. The truth is, pain is not your enemy, it's your energy. Every time you feel hurt, it's like life is giving you a fire. If you just hold it, it burns your hands. But if you use it to work, to learn, to create, it becomes your fuel. That's why some people stay stuck in sadness while others rise from it. It's not luck, it's choice. Pain doesn't choose who to visit, but you choose what to do with it. Let's go back to Amir's story. Months passed. He kept practicing quietly, without anyone knowing. He used every insult as motivation. He turned every memory of laughter into fuel. 1 year later, there was a school event. The principal asked for a volunteer to host the show, in English. The room went silent. No one raised their hand. Then, slowly, Amir stood up. People looked surprised. Some even smiled sarcastically, remembering how he had once been laughed at. But this time, Amir spoke, and his voice was clear, calm, fluent. His English wasn't perfect, but it was powerful. When he finished, the same people who once laughed were clapping, and Amir smiled, not because they finally respected him, but because he finally respected himself. That is the moment when pain turns from weakness into motivation. That is the moment of transformation. So, my friend, if you're in pain right now, if you feel rejected, unseen, or hurt, remember this. Pain is not your ending. It's your beginning. You don't need to run from it. You just need to use it. Let it drive you to learn. Let it push you to speak. Let it teach you to rise again. Because one day, you'll look back at this painful season and say, that's where I found my strength. That's where I changed. Pain is not the fire that burns you. It's the fire that forges you. So don't waste it. Convert it. Create power from it. And when no one else believes in you, let your pain believe for you. Because that's how the strong are made. Chapter 4. Train your mind. Don't trust your feelings. Let's talk about something powerful and a little uncomfortable. Your feelings are liars. Yes, you heard that right. Your feelings are not always your friends. They tell you things that feel true in the moment. I'm tired. I can't do this. I'll study later. I'm not good enough. But most of those thoughts aren't facts. They're emotional noise. And if you build your life by listening to your feelings, you'll build a weak foundation, one that breaks every time the weather changes. Success doesn't belong to those who feel good all the time. It belongs to those who keep going even when they don't. When you wake up tired and your mind says, just 5 more minutes, that's your feelings talking. When you're studying English and you think, I'll never improve, that's your feelings talking. When you try to speak and make a mistake and you want to hide, that's your feelings again, trying to protect you from embarrassment. But protection isn't progress. If you always obey your emotions, you'll stay safe and small. If you train your mind, you'll become unstoppable. Here's the truth most people never learn. Your emotions are soldiers. Your mind is the general. And if the general is weak, the soldiers will run wild. Think of your life like a battlefield. Every morning, your emotions show up. Tired, lazy, afraid, insecure. They're waiting for orders. If your mind doesn't take control, those emotions will take over. They'll tell you to stay in bed, skip your practice, scroll your phone, and forget your dreams. But when your mind stands up and says, "No, we have work to do," the soldiers fall in line. The emotions obey the command. That's mental discipline. And it's something you can train, just like a muscle. Let's train your mind together. Here are 3 simple habits that will make you mentally stronger. 1. Speak affirmations daily, in English. The words you speak shape the world you live in. So every morning before you touch your phone, say out loud, "I can learn. I will improve. I'm not perfect, but I'm progressing. I am stronger than my feelings." You may not believe those words at first. That's okay. Say them anyway. Because when you speak with power, your brain starts to listen, and slowly, your beliefs begin to change. The best part? You're not only training your mind, you're training your English too. Every positive sentence is a small victory. 2. Replace negative self-talk with "I can" and "I will." When your mind whispers, "This is too hard," you answer, "I can do hard things." When you think, "I'm not good enough," you respond, "I will become better." When you hear, "No one believes in me," you remind yourself, "I will believe in me." Your words are your weapons. Use them wisely. Every time you replace a negative thought with a positive command, you train your mental muscles to fight back. 3. Write your fears, then rewrite them as goals. Take a notebook and list the things that scare you. I'm afraid to speak English. I'm afraid people will laugh. I'm afraid I'll fail again. Now, rewrite each one as a goal. I will speak English with confidence. I will keep speaking even if people laugh. I will fail, learn, and rise again. By doing this, you're taking control. You're telling your brain, "These fears don't own me anymore." You're converting emotional weakness into direction. That's what powerful people do. They don't deny their feelings, they discipline them. You have to understand this. Your emotions are temporary, but your discipline is forever. Feelings change like the weather, sunny in the morning, stormy by night. If you live by them, your life will always be unstable. But discipline? Discipline is the anchor that holds you steady when your emotions want to drift away. It's what keeps you studying when you're tired. It's what pushes you to practice English even when no one's listening. It's what makes you move when every part of you wants to stop. And that's where greatness is built, not in comfort, but in consistency. Sometimes you'll feel unmotivated, sad, or bored. That's normal. But here's the rule. You don't need to feel good to do good. If you wait for motivation, you'll never move. Because motivation is a guest. It visits sometimes, but it never stays. Discipline is the house you build. It's always there. So repeat this to yourself. If you only move when you feel good, you'll never move far. Read that again slowly. Let it sink in. The people who go far in life, the ones who speak fluently, grow their skills, change their lives, they didn't always feel like it. They just did it anyway. They studied when they were tired. They practiced when they were scared. They spoke when they were nervous. And every small act of discipline built their future brick by brick. So train your mind like a warrior. When your emotions rise, don't panic. Command them. When your feelings whisper lies, answer with truth. When your heart says stop, let your mind say continue. You're not your feelings. You're the commander of them. And if you keep showing up, no matter what you feel, one day you'll realize something powerful. Your emotions still exist, but they no longer control you. You control them. That's real freedom. That's real strength. That's the mindset of a champion, calm, focused, unshakable. Now say it with me, out loud, in English. I am the general. My mind gives the orders. My emotions follow. Say it until you believe it. Because from this moment forward, you're not training your language only. You're training your mind. And once your mind is disciplined, there's nothing in this world you can't do. Chapter 5. Build quiet systems that keep you going. Let's be honest. Motivation is beautiful, but it doesn't last. It comes and goes like the weather. One day you feel inspired, ready to conquer everything, and the next you feel empty, lost, or tired. That's why you can't depend on motivation. You need something stronger, something more stable. A system. A system is like a quiet machine that keeps running even when you don't feel like moving. It's not loud. It doesn't need applause. But it saves you on the days when you feel weak, confused, or unmotivated. Let me tell you something true and powerful. Successful people don't rise because they are always motivated. They rise because they have built systems that carry them through the days when their heart feels heavy. The power of quiet systems. Imagine this. Every morning you wake up, brush your teeth, and drink a glass of water. You don't think much about it. You just do it. That's a system. Now imagine doing the same with your learning. Every morning, you open your notebook, listen to English for 10 minutes, repeat 3 sentences, and record your voice. Every night, you write 1 paragraph about your day in English, review what you learned, and reflect for 2 minutes. That's not motivation. That's a system. And this simple, quiet system can completely change your life. Because when you have a system, you don't wake up and ask, "Do I feel like learning today?" You simply learn. You don't wait for motivation. You move through your system like breathing. When your system saves you, there will be days when you feel low. Days when you don't want to open your book or practice English. Days when your mind says, "Just skip today. You'll start again tomorrow." But if you have a system, something magical happens. You do it anyway. Maybe you don't study for an hour. Maybe just for 10 minutes. But you still show up. And those little 10-minute victories build your future. Because success is not built in big, dramatic moments. It's built quietly in small daily actions that no one sees. Your system protects your dreams from your emotions. How to build your quiet systems. You don't need to design something complicated. Start small, start humble, but start today. Let's say you want to improve your English. Here's a simple system you can build. Morning system. 1. Listen to one short English audio or video. 2. Repeat what you hear. 3. Record your voice. 4. Compare it to the original and correct yourself. Night system. 1. Write one short paragraph about your day. 2. Read it out loud. 3. Review one sentence you learned today. 4. Reflect for 2 minutes. How do you feel about your progress? That's it. You don't need expensive courses, teachers, or motivation. You just need a simple plan and the courage to repeat it. The same idea works for your mindset. Here's a mindset system. Read one page of something uplifting every morning. Write down one thought that touched you. Before bed, repeat one affirmation like, I am improving. I am stronger than yesterday. I am learning slowly but surely. These are small things, but they build something enormous, momentum. Systems bring peace. When you build a system, your mind becomes calmer. Because now you don't need to fight with yourself every day. You don't ask, should I do it today? You just do it. That's why systems are more powerful than motivation. They make success automatic. Even on bad days, you move a little. Even on sad days, you write one sentence. Even on tired days, you listen for 5 minutes. And one day, you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive your lonely season, you grew in it. Because your system carried you when your heart couldn't. Silent progress. At first, no one will notice. No one will clap for your small efforts. But after 30 days, something starts to change. You understand more words. You feel calmer. You begin to trust yourself. After 60 days, you start thinking in English. You start believing in your future again. That's what systems do. They make progress silent but strong. They teach you patience. They teach you that growth is not always visible, but it is always happening. The turning point. When you realize this truth, that even without motivation, support, or energy you can still grow, your life begins to shift. You stop waiting for someone to push you. You stop waiting for perfect days. You stop depending on your feelings. Instead, you start depending on your systems. They become your quiet partners in success. And when your system becomes your habit, success becomes your nature. Spike. Moment. If you can build a system that works even when you don't feel like working, then one day you'll wake up successful, not because you were always motivated, but because you were always consistent. Chapter 6. The Power of Silent Growth. There comes a moment in every journey when you stop explaining yourself. You stop posting your every move. You stop trying to prove that you're changing, and you simply change. That's the moment your power begins to grow, quietly, deeply, and unshakably. Because the truth is this: the world doesn't need to see your process. Let them see your results. The quiet season. Let me tell you something real. There will come a season when you will disappear, not because you're lost, but because you're finally found. You won't post every step you take. You won't tell everyone your goals. You'll just wake up, do your work, practice your English, read, write, and repeat. And slowly, something inside you will begin to shift. You'll start to notice that silence doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels full. Full of focus, full of peace, full of purpose. Because when you work in silence, you stop performing for the world and start transforming for yourself. A story of disappearing to grow. Let me share a story. There was once a young man named Armand. He used to post about everything: his gym check-ins, his study sessions, his plans to become fluent in English. Every week, he would announce something new. But deep down, he wasn't moving forward. He was performing for attention. One day, he decided to vanish. No social media, no updates, just work. For one whole year, Armin trained in silence. He woke up early, listened to English every morning, wrote one paragraph a day, and practiced speaking to himself in the mirror. He worked out, he read, he reflected. No one clapped, no one even noticed. But quietly, his confidence began to grow. His words became smoother, his thoughts became clearer, his body stronger, his mind calmer. A year later, when he returned, people were shocked. He spoke fluently, carried himself with grace, and had a focus they couldn't understand. They asked, "Where have you been?" And he smiled. "I was busy becoming who I said I would be." That is the power of silent growth. Silence is not weakness. The world teaches you to be loud, to show, to prove, to announce. But silence is the language of strength. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. Because you've learned that not every seed grows in sunlight. Some grow best in the dark. Growth needs privacy. Your goals need protection. And your dreams need time, away from noise and judgment. The more you explain yourself to people, the more you lose energy. But when you stay silent and focused, that same energy turns into results. So don't be afraid to go quiet for a while. Don't be afraid if no one asks what you're doing. Don't be afraid if no one claps. Because one day, your results will speak so loudly that silence will be the only sound left. What silent growth feels like. At first, it feels lonely. You'll wonder if you're doing enough. You'll question whether your hard work will ever pay off. But as days pass, you'll start noticing tiny victories. Your thoughts become sharper. Your English sounds clearer. Your focus lasts longer. You'll realize you no longer need to prove anything. You no longer chase motivation. You've built momentum. You no longer seek approval. You've built trust in yourself. And that's when the magic begins. You start enjoying the quiet. You begin to fall in love with the process. You find peace in doing the work no one sees. That's what real confidence is. Quiet, not loud. Transformation speaks louder than words. Remember this. People might forget what you said. They might even forget what you did. But they will never forget your transformation. Because transformation doesn't shout, it shows. When you come back fluent, calm, focused, and strong, You won't need to say a word. Your presence will speak for you. That's what happens when you build quietly. Your silence becomes your soundtrack of success. Your quiet power. So, my friend, don't rush to prove yourself. Don't rush to show the world your progress. Focus on your private victory, the one that happens when no one is watching. Wake up early, practice your English in silence, write your thoughts, train your mind, build your system, quietly. Every single small step you take in private will one day shine in public, because you don't need to be seen to be growing. You don't need noise to make progress. Growth is quiet. Discipline is quiet. Transformation is quiet. But one day, the world will hear your silence, and it will sound like thunder. Final emotional spike. When you win alone, you never depend on applause again. You become unstoppable. Let that line stay with you. Because the day you stop chasing recognition and start chasing growth, you become free. You no longer need approval. You no longer need motivation. You no longer need validation. You are enough. You are rising. And your silence, your beautiful, disciplined silence, is building something the world will never forget. If this video spoke to your heart, don't let it end here. If even one sentence, one moment, one story made you feel something, hold on to it, because that small spark you feel right now, that's not random. That's the beginning of your next chapter. Speak one English sentence today, even if it's just, "I'm growing." Write one promise to yourself, even if it's just, "I won't give up." Because small steps become strong habits, and strong habits build unshakable lives. And if you're ready to grow, not just in English but in life, subscribe to Bookish English, like this video, and share it with someone who's walking alone too. Because one day, your story of winning alone will give someone else the courage to keep going. And that's how we change the world, one quiet, brave learner at a time.